What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new episode. I'm your host, Disco, and today we're going to be talking about the final predictions of the 2022 midterm elections. I will be submitting my results in This Is It, the final episode about the 22 midterm elections, about predicting it. And the next videos will be about what happened in the midterm elections, what changed, what was this new electorate, and let's see what else happens. So I've already got the maps pre-solided. To places where I think are just going to go straight to the nominee, to like Democrat or Republican nominees by over 15 points. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll start with the Senate. For the first one, I'm actually going to count this as a lean Murkowski. Yes, you got that right, lean Murkowski. There's a reason why I put this as a lean Murkowski. The Republican nominee doesn't have any Shibaka is the only challenger, really. The Republican vote's going to split, but there's so many Democrats that are going to vote for Murkowski because I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2010, Murkowski actually lost her nomination for the Republican nominee, so she did a write-in campaign, and pretty much nobody ever wins a write-in campaign. Actually, you could see it in 2010. She won it by 4 points. She was a write-in. Oh, I got a nail. Damn it. Yeah. What was the predictions? Oh, they all thought it was gonna go to. Wow, Murkowski was not even leading. Oh yeah. So yeah. That's why I think it will go. That's my prediction. So yeah. Next state is Arizona. I'm actually going to classify this as a tilt Democrat. Arizona was Mark Kelly was first elected to the Senate in 2020 by a margin of 2.3. He's pretty popular there, although recent polling data has suggested otherwise. He's only winning by 2 points from a double-digit lead back in August. So it wouldn't surprise me. So it's only by 1 point now. So it wouldn't surprise me. I probably would have got this. I'm probably going to get this wrong, but this is what I did a week ago. So let's actually go to the presidential election to get a general idea. So not in 2024. We already know he's going to win it. Biden was winning by 2.6. So there's about a 2.3 polling error. So technically speaking, it would be a lean, but judging by Mark Kelly and the margin of error and the polling error, I still think it will be tilt. Next one will be Colorado as a likely. The challenger is a really good moderate candidate and has been closing up the gap, so that's why I think so. I forgot to classify Maryland as solid. My apologies. Connecticut is actually going to be the next state. Likely, Connecticut does have a past of like voting closely, so let's go back to 2010. It was only by 11 points. Write-in campaign. So yeah, Blumenthal is not going to win by 28.6, but definitely going to win by a big margin. So next state is going to be Florida. I'm actually going to classify this as a likely state. Marco Rubio has been doing really, really well in this state. So let's go to Florida and let's change to the Senate election. So Marco Rubio has been winning by like 7 points against Val Demings. So I do think that Marco Rubio is going to win about 10 points. It's definitely going to be better than his 2016 margin, but definitely going to be like, okay, this state is trending. And Georgia is our next state. I'm actually going to classify Georgia as a runoff state. I do not have any color for that, and I do not plan to do that. But so far, I have it as a tilt Democrat right now, and I do think it will go into a runoff. Why do I think so? Because there's a libertarian candidate in there. So therefore, libertarians tend to take away votes from both Republicans, sometimes even Democrats, and they're going to be able to make it into a runoff. So now I have Illinois as solid. Indiana, I'm actually going to classify this as likely. Recent polling data has suggested that the only polling data suggests that it was Young leading by 3 points, Young leading by 2 points. It has shown that Young is not popular. This is him running for a second term. So I will classify this as likely. I do think it will be double digits, but I do not think it will be up to like his expected 15-point margin. Our next state is actually going to be Iowa. This is shocking because this is the first time Grassley has to fight for his political life. I mean, like, if you look at the polling data, it's 7.2 7.2. I mean, look at like other times. Grassley 24. Grassley 31. That's in a Republican wave year. Grassley 42. I mean, it's been it's showing decline, but this is in 2004. Republicans were doing well, and then 2010 Republicans doing well, but only won by 31 compared to his 42. And then we come to here to his 24 against a judge. I'll be the judge of that. And so far, that'll classify as likely. I'm going through my papers. We're going to Nevada. I actually would classify this as a lean GOP. This is the first pickup for the GOP for anyone. Why? The Republican's leading. The Republican is leading in Nevada by 0.6. It has been going back and forth, back and forth. People will classify this as a toss-up. But if you look at like past elections, we'll go to the presidential election, not in 2024, but look at Biden. It was about a 3-point margin of 3-point polling error / margin of error, and you can see that there. So that's why I classify this as a lean. They're winning, and they're going to probably win this seat. North Carolina is likely. I just don't see. I see Democrats winning by the same margin as last year. Wait, Democrats. I'm sorry, Republicans. I see Democrats losing in the same margin. Maybe the vote share a bit different. But yeah, as you can see, Burr. This is a new. This is, I think it's Ted Buddy. Here, let me check. Ted Budd versus Cherry Basley. I am sorry, I'm butchering names. I just don't see them winning due to polling data suggestions. Okay, so Ohio is a likely GOP. This was actually shockingly a close race at the beginning, although this was shockingly a close race to begin with. Ryan was originally leading. Also keep in mind there was 30. It was in the high 30s, the high to mid 30s, and then they slowly started picking up. At one point, they had Ryan had a 4-point lead. So I would have classified that as a lean Republican, possibly even to a tilt. This was a race where we thought, oh yeah, it's going to be competitive. Now it's not. It's a 3-point lead. So very much so similar to Donald Trump's. So it's more likely that it'll be more for Republicans. Pennsylvania, I'm actually going to class this as a tilt. This is one of their retiring seats. John Fetterman was doing really, really well. Fetterman, where's Pennsylvania? There it is. Fetterman was doing really well. Had at one point a double-digit lead, but has since fallen in the polls. Oz has moved towards the center, and Fetterman's health has been a big concern. During the debate, you could actually see in the background him having to use a teleprompter to read the questions that the moderators were asking. And that's a big concern amongst Pennsylvania voters, more specifically suburban voters, whether he's qualified to be able to run in the Senate, be able to work in the Senate. Utah's likely. There's just an independent McMullen. He actually ran in 2016 to win Utah and actually won by a pretty good. He actually nearly won, but in the end of the day, it's not going to McMullen. It's too solid Republican. Now Washington will be likely. New Hampshire. I forgot New Hampshire. Where the heck is my New Hampshire? New Hampshire is actually going to be lean for me. So far, the polling data has suggested that, oh yeah, it's going to be a very, very, very close race. It has gotten really close. But I also like to keep in mind that Hassan is actually quite popular. She was the former governor there, and when all things were lost, she has won elections where she was expected to lose. So next state would be Washington as a likely. Washington's kind of weird because it's a solid Democratic state, but has voted. Oh, it's gone single digits now. Well, maybe I should update my polling data. But yeah, I still believe it'll be likely though, because Biden was winning the state by over 20 points, and yet only won the state by 19 points, as clearly shown here. So yeah, look, this won 58% of the vote, 39%. Libertarian vote's kind of big there. Yeah, I see this. I could see this county flipping, but all in all, not much. Definitely not this county. I could see this county flipping. I could see some of these counties flipping towards Republicans and turning solid Republican for like the first time. Oh, excuse me. My apologies, but yet again, that's just my wisdom. I would classify Wisconsin as a likely. Wisconsin is the fastest growing rural Rust Belt state. Johnson is leading by 3 points. It's still within a margin of error, but that's adding the poll. That's adding with the polling error. So yeah, that's just what I think, because when you think about the state's history, because it's gotten a lot more Republican in recent years, and this is what's happening. Look at this. Johnson Barnes is only leading by 2 points in one, and that's with a partisan poll. There's no Trafalgar here. It would be kind of weird. Patriot polling, that seems a bit right wing. Fox News has it only by 3 points, although given the best case scenario, if there was a massive polling error for the Republicans, Barnes would be leading by 0.1. Yeah, that would be it. So that's my Senate prediction. To 51 to 49, Republicans getting one seat, and Democrats fending off challengers in Arizona, Georgia, and New Hampshire, along with maintaining Washington and Colorado, but also losing the seat in Nevada. But Republicans keeping their seats in Iowa, Ohio, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida, with Murkowski winning by a lean margin. Okay, so now we go on to the governorships. Let's get started with Alaska as likely. Bill Walker's running there. Makes sense. Arizona as a lean GOP. This is kind of shocking compared to how right wing the person is, though. How Kelly Lake. Oh, yeah, Wisconsin's going red. Okay. Sorry, that was a bit of a shock. But let's go to Arizona. So yeah, Lake is leading by 2.5. I could see her winning by a lean margin. I just don't think that Hobbs is going to win with this. I mean, me saying that I think is going to do is absolutely terrible, because one, that says bias. So my apologies. I just realized that. But based off this polling, and look, Lake is leading. Lake is leading by that. Look, Club for Growth America. This is a dead even with a bunch of universities in it, and a bunch of other universities. Lake is leading by 2. This is a dead even heat. We'll go to Citizens United, 4 points. I mean, but look at all the ones that are good. Martis College, Hobbs is leading by 1, but yet again, it will still be a lean, because remember, there's a polling error. Our next state would be Colorado, likely. Polis is leading by such a big margin. There's no saying. Florida is Connecticut is actually a likely. Connecticut has a history, but the polling has showed to be like getting closer. If you look at the polling, it's 14 points, but yet it's still within range. But yet again, though, there's that. But yet again, we have to take into account the state's history. Back in 2018, if you actually look at the governorship election, it's 2017. It was actually by a lean margin, but and Rhode Island as well by a near likely margin. And you got to take that into account, the state's history as well. So I'm actually going to classify both Connecticut and Rhode Island as likely. Maine, I'm actually going to classify Maine as a lean Democrat. Maine does have a Democrat past, but it also has a past of electing Republicans. Actually, the former Republican governor is vying for his seat again. So let's go to Maine. All right, Maine is the main story right now. All right, Mills is only leading by 8 points against LePage, so I do think it will be a lean margin, because if you take into account the state's history and take into account the polling, it shows some even showed double digits. The fair votes, 6 points, and A-rated history. I apologize, something's tickling my throat. But yeah. Let's go to New York. I'm actually gonna go to. I'm going off the rails right now. My apologies. I'm actually gonna go to Illinois, saying that it is likely. I just saw the polls in Illinois. They're pretty close. I mean, it's 12 points, but yet again, I think it'll be like 9 points for Pritzker because of the polling error and how the state's voting history has shifted. To Kansas, I actually will classify. I'm actually going to reclassify this from my previous one. If you actually look at Kansas now, if my mouse can work ever, Kelly is leading. So I'm gonna reclassify this. I'm gonna put this in my book. Yes, I have a book. 30 to 20. I'm actually gonna put this as a 29 to 21. Yeah, mine is a very +2, +3. I had to reclassify this. Okay, so how am I reclassifying this? I'm reclassifying this as a tilt Democrat. Kelly is leading by 5 points. She won it by 5 points. Polling error, margin of error. She still wins. So yeah, and she's quite popular. She's to win in Kansas as a Democrat, you have to be very conservative. Although it is trending a bit more blue, but yet again, though, you still have to be conservative. Michigan, my home state, is now turning into a lean state. Dixon is quite popular there. If you actually go out in the sign, I live in Michigan, and I've noticed like all the signs for Dixon in my area. I have never seen this much politics in such a Democratic area. I mean, I live in Novi, so and it's pretty Democratic. But if you go a bit more out, you could see like, oh yeah, they're campaigning against They're trying to be anti-abortion. They're trying to. I see the Dixons. I see the Republican signs everywhere. I don't see as many Democratic signs, but I see a lot of Republican signs. And that's what's weird to me because I look back on 2020. 2020 was probably one of the weirdest years for me. I saw all these signs driving by. I saw all the signs for Democrats and Republicans, but it's so much more now than it was before. So it's so weird. So yeah, that's why I'm classifying as a lean Democrat. I'm gonna get this quick. Minnesota is likely the governor is pretty popular there. Wisconsin as a lean, as you just saw, leading. The Pennsylvania governor, I'm actually gonna classify it as a likely, as a lean. The Republican nominee Mastro is pretty damn radical. And so I don't think the people of Pennsylvania would just vote for that. Plus, polling data has shown that Mastro hasn't been leading in any of them. Let's go to Pennsylvania, and you'll see why. Shapiro's winning by 10 points. 10 points. I'm about to classify this as a likely. You know what? I'm changing it to likely, because the way things have gone for them is like I could see them saying like, yes, he's too extreme. So yeah, New York, I'm actually going to classify it as a lean Democrat. Why though? It's gone to single digits, but it is New York's Holken has gone into single digits, and that's why I think it's gone to 7.2 a 7.2 margin. That is extremely low, and we're almost dipping into a plurality, which is shocking. You never see that in New York, which, may I remind you, has voted for a Democratic governor since 2006 and voted for Joe Biden with a 60% vote share with a 23-point lead. I mean, it looks Republican on the outside, but I will take this with a grain of salt. These are suburbs here. Buffalo's here, which is shockingly because these are like rural suburbs right here. Monroe, you get, and here's the city. This is like going into like New York City suburbs, and you go into here. This is actual New York. So yeah, the suburbs might vote out Hochul, and the city might also vote her out. So what else am I going to put? I'm actually going to go to Texas and Oklahoma. Texas I'll classify as likely, and Oklahoma Atlanta as lean. So lean to likely. I'll classify it as lean so far. And GOP is lean, along with Nevada and New Mexico. Why? Oregon has a split vote for Democrat nominees. for the Democrat nominee, and that's paving the way for Republicans. Nevada's the Republican nominee is actually winning in there. So, and with the recent voting history and the Hispanic vote moving away from the Democrats, moving towards more Republicans due to the word socialism. That's what's driving them away. New Mexico actually has a very unpopular governor. I heard there was some like scandal. I heard some scandals, but all in all, I just need more information on that. Lujan Grisma is only winning by 6 points. Recent polling has showed Ronchetti. Trafalgar is A minus. It's a partisan polling data though. It's partisan though. But Ricchetti winning by 1 point is actually kind of weird though, considering it's Trafalgar. You would expect them to win by nine points because they're partisan. But all these polling show that Lujan Grisma is winning, not by big margins, but still winning, with the exception of Trafalgar. I will not classify Trafalgar as an A minus polling since it's so right wing. Oklahoma, it's gone competitive, but I'm actually almost going to reclassify as a likely. I'm reclassifying it as a likely due to the polling data showing that the incumbents in the lead. Texas, Abbott's going to win because of polling. Beto O'Rourke, this is not the time for O'Rourke to be campaigning. Abbott's winning by 9 points. He probably won't win by the same margin he did in 2018 because he's gotten so unpopular. He's probably, if he does win it by the same margin, he's probably only winning it because of like how he's being helped by a Republican wave. So yeah, for Florida and Georgia are both likely. Why? Those are two Republican states. Yes, I am saying Georgia is a Republican state. Why? Biden is the first Democrat nominee to win it. It is going purple. Oh God, voice crack. Georgia, 5 points McCain. 5 points McCain. Phone ringing for Duolingo. Yes, don't snitch on my Spanish. Romney, near 8 points. Trump, 5 points. And Biden, 0.2. Yes, it is turning more purple. But yet again, though, is it really going to go over to Republicans? Stacey Abrams had a chance in 2018. Lost that chance by 1.4. So I don't see her winning because of the way Georgia's voting issues go. Even though with the turnout, I don't think it will happen. Florida is getting increasingly more Republican. The polling data suggested that Biden was going to win in 2020. Instead, Trump increased his margin and even got a majority of the vote share, which is something shocking. So if you actually look here, Trump got 49%. Here, let's actually go here. 49.02 to a 51.22 to Biden's 47. Yeah, the vote share actually, they both increased their vote share slightly, but all in all, yeah. But what changed though? Take a quick look. Then and now. Then and now. There's a huge difference. What is that? Turn solid? Yeah, that turns out. That is turning Republican. I do not know why is this turning Republican. I think because all the Democrats are moving here to Seminole. Tampa Bay is the Pinellas, Florida is not. So Biden was able to win a huge portion of like white voters in the state. He was able to win a bunch of white voters and a bunch of like 16 over votes. But it's Miami-Dade County. The immigrant vote, the minority vote there is crucial. If you get the minority vote and get the white vote there, you win the state. But apparently, now it seems like you can win the minority vote and lose the white vote and still win. That's what happened in Miami-Dade County. Clinton outperformed almost every single Democratic nominee in the past and won it by 29.6. That is astounding. Then Biden won it by 7. So Trump was able to turn a lot of these solid Democratic voters to him. So if DeSantis does the same thing, which polling data suggests, he will do it. So yeah, that's my prediction. 29 to 21, 29 Republican governor seats to 21 Democrat governor seats. Yeah, I am going to do the House another video. I've already got it ready and pre-ready, and it's pre-packed into its carry-on luggage. Yes, we are getting ready for the House, but I need time. I have to be somewhere really soon. My apologies. I think this is the wrong classification. There we go. I have to be somewhere right now, so I will just gonna get this ready. I thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends about this YouTube channel, friends and family. The more support, the better, to help continue on with this channel, and to make sure that if we can, let's see if we can get over 1,000, 2,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I only have 12, but still, let's see if we get over 2,000 by the end of the year. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Please tell me anything I can do better, what you would like to be explained. I'll catch you all next time. Hasta la vista.